Hey guys, welcome to the Sim Racing Paddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going to be driving in RaceRoom Racing Experience. So recently they released a new track, Imola, or I think it's Imola or something like that. I don't know the pronunciation, but it is actually one of my favorite tracks. So I wanted to give this a test drive. Sorry for not doing it sooner. I've just been busy. I've actually had to go to Southern California for my sister's wedding, and then I went to Lake Tahoe for another weekend trip. So now I'm home and actually able to do some more driving. So let's take a look at this new track. So I was thinking just to start off, maybe do a GT car, then maybe later do an open wheel. I think that would be a fun combination. So let's take a look. And my personal favorites tend to either be the ADAC GT Masters or the GT3 cars. So let's go with a GT3. Sorry. And I'm going to take, let's see. Hey, Lumos Hardkiller, how's it going, man? Let's see what I should take out. Well, unfortunately, they don't have the Porsches just yet, but let's take out the roof. So, let's just have some fun in a rear-wheel drive, rear-engine car. So, let's check out the new track. The Imola Grand Prix. And let's go race. Oh, whoa, my chat. Like, I'm trying a new chat utility, and I just noticed it's interfering into the gameplay footage, but it's okay. I don't know where everyone else is. They might be working. All right, hey, Paul Keeble. Good evening. It's 9:30 a.m. here. But, okay. Whatever floats your boat. But yeah, I've been having some weird issues with streaming with RaceRoom, so I'm not really wanting to alt-tab out, because that sends all the windows haywire or something like that. I recently just upgraded my OBS broadcaster, though, so who knows what's going on with that, but the chat's working right now. That's what matters. I'm trying a new chat utility, because also I upgraded to the Super Chat on YouTube, so if you want to help support the channel and just give us a shout out, you can feel free to do that. But don't feel obligated. I'm wanting to create Sim Racing Paddock into more of a community supported channel, where I get minimal revenue from advertisers right now. So with super chat and donations, things like that, I might be able to bring more content to the channel, things like that. But, yeah. How's California after Hurricane Irma? That's at the other end of the country. Lumos. Hurricane Irma is around, it hit about 3,000 miles away from me. And that's like 7,000 kilometers or something like that. So, it's far away. This track brings back memories. I actually did have a family friend who was actually in Florida when Hurricane Irma hit, though. And it's a family that lives there about 20 miles, I believe, from Tampa Bay, which got hit. And the neighbor's tree fell into their yard. Fortunately, it didn't hit their house or their cars, so they were safe, but there was some property damage. But all of my friends that were hit by Hurricane Harvey and Irma were safe, which is a blessing. Whoop, whoop. Man, those rear-wheel drive cars they are squirrely. Yeah, Storm Eileen. I haven't heard about that one. Yeah, Key West, they got hit hard. Because with hurricanes, once it hits land, it doesn't really have as much of a force. The force of the hurricane eases off once it hits land. So once the hurricane hit, like the Caribbean islands, then it started to weaken. So by the time it hit Florida, it was a Category 3 storm, I believe. So it didn't cause nearly as much damage, but for the lower income islands, and they just got hit hard. And I just can't help but feel sorry for them. I have a few friends that are from local churches, and I believe they did actually go to the Caribbean to help rebuild some houses, which is great. Project Cars 2 is out in a week? Wow, I did not realize that. Or it's out in like 9 days. But yeah, I'm going to try doing some more Project Cars 2 footage. Apparently, when I accidentally did those live streams and nobody told me I wasn't allowed to, it's just like I ruffled a few feathers. People got mad at me from the development team, which kind of understandable. It was a miscommunication and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. So let's talk a little bit about this track. It actually feels pretty darn solid. I don't know off the top of my head if it's laser scanned, but this brings back memories of driving hours and hours on it in Assetto Corsa. And yeah, they should have updated the press build. That was frustrating because I was talking with the guy that was Mr. Need for Speed. I verified it with one of the head guys for Slightly Mad Studios. I verified with him that it was a genuine Slightly Mad Studios employee, and he told me, yeah, they're not updating the press build at all, which, not the smartest move. They said there might be a press event at my local racetrack. They said they might try to get me an invite, but after that live streaming stuff, I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna get the full experience of Project Cars 2 the same time you do, guys. Which, slightly frustrating because I want to provide a solid, accurate review for you, but I can only make do with what I'm given, and wow, that was some severe wheel hop into that corner. I'm blaming myself on that. Well, the issue is, in that build, that I was given by the press, or for the press, that is a May build. So, a lot of stuff is still broken in it. And I know that, they're doing, maybe, 3 builds a day. So, it is understandable that a lot of stuff is changing, but a lot of what there actually is in my build is nowhere representative of the game quality. I know you're hearing that left and right, and I am skeptical as well, but once the game is actually released, that is when I feel like, okay, this is going to be good. That's my thought on the matter. I just realized my chat's not updating. Or wait, oh, come on. It is updating, it's just showing from the bottom. I think. What? I hit the curb there. Hold on a second. I'm going to pause real quick. I want to fix this chat. Come on. Okay. So, let's see what to do. Okay. There we go. That should be better for chat. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. Does the chat look better for you guys now? Okay, I'm in reverse right now. They limit some cars? I never realized RaceRoom limits cars and tracks. I never realized that. But yeah, RaceRoom, they have definitely shaped up their game over the past couple of years, because if you guys have followed me way back when I was working with Inside Sim Racing, I actually once did a video on DTM Experience 2014. And at that point, I felt that RaceRoom Racing Experience was kind of cruddy and wasn't really good at all. And then, boom, all of a sudden they pull a few rabbits out of their hats, and it's one of my favorite titles now. So it's like, okay, that worked out. And then GTR3 is coming out next year, hopefully. And that'll just be like nostalgia. Maybe not nostalgia, but it's going to be like, oh, if they do it right, I should say. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Threw it in a little hard there. RaceRoom supports virtual reality pretty darn well. It does. Triple monitors, not as well. It does support triple monitors, but it is kind of the Codemaster's way, where it gets stretched out, which is less than ideal for the triple monitor, because for triple monitors, you're wanting essentially each scene to be rendered separately. You're not wanting a full 50, I think it's like 5620 or 5640 or something like that. You don't want that by 1080 single image. You're wanting this sort of triple rendered system. That allows you to be able to compensate for monitor bezels, allows you to be able to adjust angles properly, and get a better wraparound experience. Yep, that rear wing's damaged. Whoa! Distracted driving, guys. I don't recommend it. Except that's sort of what I have to do with live streaming. So that's the BMW Z4 GT3 versus the new M6. The battle of the generations of BMW GT3 race cars. The Z4 GT3 is one of my favorite GT race cars, though. That M6 engine note, not a big fan. Yeah, he just turned into me. But, oh, this track, they Sector 3, you've done a great job. If anybody in Sector 3 is watching right now. Yeah. And I'm not faulting RaceRoom sound. No. RaceRoom definitely best sounds around. But just that M6 just is flat by nature. Just like Keira Knightley. Still lovely. Whoops. Let's just call that revenge. But yeah, the engine note's flat, like Keira Knightley. Still lovely, but just missing. Like, still a great car, still fast, but missing. I know, horrible analogy. So in a few minutes, I think I'm going to take out an F1 car around. That should be a lot of fun. I overcooked into that corner. Whoops. Little over aggressive there. Well, yeah, this roof is definitely on the lively side. Because these rear engine cars they have more of a predisposition to oversteer. Which is definitely more fun, but keeps you on edge. '90s best all-around decade. I think I'm going to agree with you on that. Because it wasn't just Formula One, it was also like sort of the end of the era for Group C. NASCAR definitely was more exciting, in my opinion, in the 90s. Like late 80s, early 90s for NASCAR. And granted, I wasn't born until 93, but seeing the race replay footages and things like that, you see a lot more excitement in those races. And a lot less debris cautions. And then also, like, the 24 hours of Le Mans. Oh yeah, I mentioned Group C already. But yeah, it just was more exciting in general. But yeah, now this car starts to feel like it's coming together for me. As I clip the grass and almost spin. And another thing I just want to give Sector 3 Studios props on is the improvements in the force feedback. When I was driving back in about 3-4 years ago, the force feedback just wasn't there. Now this is a lot of improvement encapsulated in the past couple of years. Granted, it's still not perfect, but oh, it's so much better. It feels a lot like driving a real car, which is what you want to an extent. Force feedback is definitely subjective though. Your mileage may vary, but for me, it feels good. With the Clubsport wheel, I should say. I haven't tested with the T500 recently. I want to get one lap in where I don't cut. But it seems like the corner cutting is a little overeager in my opinion. Or I just am a little aggressive in the corners, so maybe tone it back in the corners a bit? Okay, let's see how this goes. I always have issues with this first sector, in my opinion. It's just so tricky. Sounded like there was a car behind me, but nope. Whoa, whoa. Saved it. Seems like a good lap, guys. I'm hoping. Made up a long time on those guys. Wow, 500ths off my best time. I want to see if I can make this pass. One of the things I do like also about RaceRoom is the AI feels good. They're actually racing each other. Because you see they're battling. A little bumping and rubbing's racing. But boom, 2-wide battle. Let's make it 3 wide on the outside. You don't get this kind of battling in some of the other sims. I was doing some testing in rFactor 2, and as much as I love rFactor 2 for its simulation, the AI, whoa, is just a little lackluster in my opinion. Especially with third-party content. For this is exciting racing. Assetto Corsa AI has improved, but I agree. The Assetto Corsa AI isn't as good as other titles. But that was exciting racing. And don't get me started on the AI in iRacing. Okay, let's shift gears, go to an open wheeler. So for that, I'm going to have to change out my wheel rim. There we go. So practice. Let's pull out the FRX 17. Let's do this. I would have loved to see Imola get another slot on the Grand Prix circuit. Because I believe it was the San Marino Grand Prix. And that really didn't really run after Senna's death, I believe. That long. Or maybe like 5 or 6 years after. But I would have loved to see this track come back. Just has that mix of high speed and then you just really have to woe down for the second and third sectors. That engine note though, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Love that engine note. Yeah, buddy! This is what I'm talking about, guys. 2017 car with a good engine. Who would have thought? This is what F1 needs, guys. This is what F1 needs. This is just so flippin' fast. Power! Whoop. The Formula E, yeah, I haven't watched much, but it definitely does seem to have good racing, and I think part of that is just having great talent, and also it's not really a spec series, but there's no clear rabbit team, I'll call it, because you know how there is that or how there's that term, the rabbit. For example, in games like Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo, there's that one car that always pulls ahead. That's like Mercedes and yeah, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and so on for F1. There's no clear like rabbit team for Formula E. Everyone has a shot of winning, essentially. So that's, I think, one of the reasons Formula E actually works well. Whoa! That hole wasn't there. Oh, I got rammed from behind. Wing still looks okay, or at least the uprights. Oh man, this car is so much fun. Also, one of the things I am frustrated with Formula E is the fan boost. I'm just not a fan, no pun intended, of it. Yeah. Pass on the outside. Whoa! We survived. I mean, he bumped me a little bit, but we're alive. Oh yeah, I'm braking way too early there. Man, this car's a lot of fun. Whoa! A little wide. One of the things I also like is, like, in addition to the AI being competitive, they're close in times. Because look at how far off second place is from me. 700ths. This is close battling. I mean, granted, I'm at 85%, so I'm not really pushing too hard. But it just feels like it's a close competition. Yeah, Bucho, RaceRoom is definitely on the pricier side. I believe they are working on their rating system, so that should be coming soon, I think. So I'll be excited when that comes out to see if it can actually compete with iRacing. Laser scan tracks, that's an interesting point, because this will be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think laser scanned tracks are the end-all be-all. It just gives them the greatest potential to make a laser scan, or accurate track. So you can have the laser scan point cloud data, but the question is, are you going to utilize it properly? Because laser scan isn't just like you scan a track and pop out comes a track. You still have to build the track mesh. You still have to build everything. So it's more like connect the dots if you have the point cloud. What you can still do if you don't laser scan is you can use the CAD data that sometimes the people from the actual track will send developers. So you can make an incredibly accurate track without laser scanning. I mean, and that's what I think Sector 3's done. Where their version of Sonoma is on par with iRacing. This feels on par with Assetto Corsa. And I don't know if this is laser scan, but if you told me this was laser scanned, I wouldn't be surprised. If you told me this wasn't laser scanned, I would be surprised. Yeah, laser scan can be bad. I remember there were a couple tracks that were laser scanned for the original R Factor by a third party, and they weren't as good, I think, because they had to throw out some of the mesh or something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, you still have to line up your track mesh to all the point clouds. Yeah, that frustrates me with Sonoma, because I was one of the WMD backers for the original Project Cars, and I called them out. Sonoma's inaccurate, and they basically said, shut up, and they shipped out the product despite me warning them about Sonoma and other tracks being inaccurate. And that is the worst rendition of Sonoma Raceway I've ever driven on. I mean, even NASCAR Heat Evolution had a better rendition of Sonoma. Yeah, I'm that serious. And then Project Cars 2 comes around. I talk with Rod Chong and Stephen Viljone, and they said, oh yeah, we're going to be fixing a lot of our mistakes in the tracks. And I'm excited. I'm excited for Sonoma. And boom, nope, same exact thing. No, Paul, they do have the license. They have the license for Sonoma Raceway. It's actually marketed as Sonoma Raceway on Project Cars. So, it's not that. It's just they didn't take the effort to actually make the track accurate, I guess. But, for example, Snowman this, not laser scan, but incredibly accurate. So, yeah, you can't really use that excuse nowadays. Yeah, one of the frustrating things with Slightly Mad Studios is they get upset easily. That's one thing I've noticed. For example, when I had my live streams, there was the guy Mr. Need for Speed. He went by MRN4S. So he was Mr. Need for Speed. And he was saying all these good things, and I decided to message one of my Slightly Mad Studios contacts, asking him, hey, is this guy legit? Is he an actual staff member? And he basically said, oh yeah, I remember you. Alright, so I was talking with Rod Chong. He's like, yeah, I remember you. You're creating quite a stir right now. And then he said something along the lines of, your comments have greatly disappointed the WMD and Slightly Mad Studios community. And I'm like, wait, that's not really my job to make sure you're happy. My job is to make sure that the right information gets to the sim racing community. And it's like, so that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, because media is not, I mean, like the sim racing review media and stuff, we're not their PR teams. I mean, Virtual R is because of like them being bought out, but also we haven't heard from them in a couple months, and and Pretend Race Cars now because they're on the payroll, I guess. But it's like, we're not meant to be your PR team. And it was kind of irritating because I'm wanting to provide accurate information to you guys. So one of the reasons I haven't done as much Project Cars 2 coverage yet is because it's not an up-to-date build. That is one of the reasons. I mean, I'll try doing some more content in the near future, like leading up to the release. But for now, it's just like, I don't want to send the wrong information across. And that's partly my responsibility. That's also partly the developer's responsibility to make sure that you send out a product that is an accurate representation of what you're selling. If a product is good, you don't need a PR team. I'd say, to an extent, yes. Because word of mouth gets you places, but can only take you so far. You could have the best simulation, and if no one knows about it, yeah. But bottom line, it'll be interesting to see what happens when Project Cars 2 comes out. I want it to succeed. I want it to be good. I want to see Project Cars 2 succeed, but it's all, balls in their court right now. That's what I'm saying. They've put a lot of talk into their product. It's one thing to talk. Talk is cheap. Give me your word. And show me what you got. Review copy? I have no clue. Basically, the way it works for distributing any kind of preview product is you have or you download it on Steam, and then there are the different branches, like the beta branch. I have the media preview branch. So I don't know, are they going to update it? We'll see. But right now, it's like, it's still the same build that I received like a month ago. And even then, it was like 2 months out of date. But if Project Cars 2 is good, then great. Like, more the merrier. But it's just like, first one did leave a sour taste in my mouth, so hopefully second one is a lot better. Rallycross car, Nordschleife in snow. That would be a challenge in itself. Yeah, the question is Gamer Muscle in love with Project Cars 2? Or is he in love with the views that it's getting him? Man, I love this car, though. But my thing is, like, I'm going to talk about it in a future video, but one of the things I love about sim racing is that there's a bit of something for everyone. Just think about it. For the hardcore simulation fanatics, we have R Factor 2, we have iRacing, and to an extent, Assetto Corsa. For those wanting a more light-hearted experience, we have titles such as Project Cars. And while it's so flawed, it's a decent racing game. And then also for people who just want the all-out crazy, there are plenty of arcade games out. But for racing in general, we have a lot of accessibility. And sometimes the people, they don't want the hardcore racing title because too much of a challenge, or they just want something to relax a bit with. And that is where elements such as Gran Turismo, Forza Motorsport, those really come in handy. So that really does, like, there's a little bit of something for everyone in the racing video game world. And I think once you get really exclusionary, that's when you start to have big problems. And yeah, alright, Paul, that's a great way to look at it, because the thing is that there is something for everyone, but a sad trend I have been seeing is it seems like more games nowadays are shipping broken to an extent. And then they're relying on the patches. If you remember, think back to Gran Turismo 4. That game shipped pretty darn complete. I mean, there were a couple bugs and things like that, but man, that was a great game. I sunk many, many, many hours into it. Compared with modern games nowadays, it's like, ugh, you have to wait a few months before it can even be playable in some states. But yeah, you definitely have a wide variety now, but I'd say don't judge the racing title just because it has that word Simcade on it. Judge it by the quality of it as a complete package. Slightly Mad and Codemasters, I'd say. But I will say, once I get the full gold version of Project Cars 2, I will give it a fair review. I'll just let you know on that. I'm going to call out the stuff that's bad, but I'm also going to highlight the stuff that is good. That's what the review should be. It shouldn't be a glorified PR piece, which I feel that some sim racing media outlets are doing nowadays. And I know, before I was talking about my philosophy for reviews, being a scored review, but I know, I did go away from that because, with sim racing especially, it's evolving so exponentially that it's not the best idea to put it on, a static scale. Nowadays, you want to actually have, just that thought of, do you recommend it or not? And that's why I've gone with what I'm doing. And I tend to be an optimist by nature. I want to see the good in things, but sometimes when things just aren't good, it's not good, in my opinion. So we need to call it out so it can be improved. Love that corner. Yeah, we want sim racing to move forward. We don't want to move backwards, because if you're not moving forward, you're moving back. That's my mindset. Oh, that was a good lap. We're going fast, guys. Oh, that curb's unsettled me a bit. Got a little unsettled over that curb. But yeah, so this track, oh, it feels a lot good. It really, wow, that didn't come out right. It really does feel good. This, oh man. I told you earlier that Imola is one of my favorite tracks, and oh yeah, it's great job, Sector 3. Great job at the track, and man, they did a good job making this feel just about right. I can't really think of anything that's like a glaring flaw on this track, or at least for the accuracy. The braking points feel about right. The corners. So, hold on. Great job, Sector 3. And, yeah, I should be doing another live stream tonight. I'm going to be doing the... Or it might be a live stream, I'm not sure yet. Next round in the Sim Racing System Championship. I did run yesterday, but because of BSAC software, I got disqualified. it was, ouch. That hurt. But basically what happened was, it's at Barcelona. And going into that final couple turns, I accidentally clip a guy and spin. And then I drive on the track and onto the front straight. And then I look up because I was using an Oculus Rift. And it's like, oh, cut track penalty, you have to slow down. And I can't slow down in time and I get disqualified. Even though I didn't really cut the track. It was like, you have got to be kidding me. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm excluded from an embargo. I might ask Sean Cole if he's heard anything from them. Because I'm friends with Sean Cole of the Sim Pit. And I'm also friends with Gamer Muscle, Jimmy Broadbent, so they might have gotten something. But I wouldn't be surprised if I'm excluded from the embargo. I guess that means they don't want me to share my thoughts too early. But bottom line, I have my copy of Project Cars 2, so I am going to review it. That's the bottom line. I want to also test GT Sport. That comes out, I believe, October. So I have my PlayStation 4. I don't have a PS4 Pro, but I have a standard PS4. I have the Fanatec wheel that should be compatible. And I will be taking a look at that. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, guys. Imola, great rendition, in my opinion. Not noticing any glaring inaccuracies. This corner, though, oh, I love it! Yes! I need to try this in VR later on. Oh. Oh, man. It was so much fun! And it's tough because I don't want to cut this live stream short, but I promise I'm meeting a friend for lunch today. It's like, oh, it's only 10:25, so we have a little more time. I thought it was already like 10:50, so I guess we have more time. So I might try with one more car. Okay, one more car. And then I'm going to wrap up this stream. But hey, let's go with a classic. Because I have the H shifter set up. Why not actually use it? And let's make it an actual race. So let's take a look. I'm thinking either 1992 DTM or GTO. Okay. This is going to be fun, guys. This is going to be good. So I've been running at 85 AI, I believe. i7-960, pretty solid, but yeah, that's getting a little long in the tooth. Right now, you should be able to see my PC specs. I'm running an i7-7700K. Actually, no, it might be saying my Ryzen specs, but I'm using the i7-7700K water-cooled with a GTX 1080, and I am using 16 gigabytes of RAM. So that's what I'm running right now. Oh, it's previous page. There we go. Imola. Let's do... let's do a 15-lap race. We should have time for that. Is there a way to turn off qualifying? Or yeah, off. Okay, qualifying's off. Sunset. This is going to look good. Physics model, get real. Tire wear on. Fuel use on. I'm not going to have damage because ISI motor. Actually, no. Screwed. Let's put on damage. There we go. Realistic for the win. Yeah, Ryzen. I've actually had a good time with my Ryzen. I just finished, or finally finished my sort of build with it. Alright, so my Ryzen build is water cooled now with the Corsair H100i. I have a. I'm gonna swap out back and forth my 1080 with it, and I have 16 gigabytes of RAM. Keep in mind the RAM. That is important for Ryzen. The faster, basically faster clocks on the RAM really make a huge difference for the CPU. So keep that in mind. Get good RAM. Okay, we're racing. H pattern with clutch. Whoa! Arca brakes. Yeah, that was an Arca brake right there. I did not expect. I was still spoiled by those the F1 brakes. I was not braking hard enough. But listen to that turbo spool. Holy turbo lag, too. Let's try something. Yeah, I was having issues with my initial RAM. It was only going to 2666, even though it was listed on the QVL as supported RAM for up to 3200 with my motherboard. So your mileage may vary. You might win the Silicon Lottery. But yeah, I had some troubles with at first. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I found that the Samsung B die RAM is a little better than the Hinox RAM, so keep that in mind too. In my experience, the Samsung. Oh, wow. Hold on, I'm just restarting this dang race. Rage restart. But yeah, right now I am using the MSI X370 motherboard for my Ryzen. Okay, that was better on the brakes. You really have to stand on the brakes here. Damage is on, actually. Man, that's just so much turbo lag. I'm literally flat shifting. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah. I am still working on the Ryzen versus Intel. I was waiting on some parts that literally came in, I think, 3 days ago. Or maybe 4 days ago. So I finally finished my build. So it's going to be... I tried making them as similar as possible. So that will... the Ryzen versus Intel video should be coming up in about a week or so. Whoa! Man, my right arm... or my right leg is going to be buff. Because I'm putting a lot of strength into those Heusinkveld pedals. But yeah, Ryzen versus Intel should be coming really soon. I've just had a lot of issues with my Ryzen build. Not like software issues, but like case compatibility and cooling. Because I wanted to water cool my Ryzen, but I had the Corsair the half 912, which is a mid-tower case, and that caused an issue where the radiator would conflict with the motherboard I/O shield, and it's like, ugh. So I ended up getting a Fanatec Enthoo Lux case, and I kept on hearing good things about Fanatec through like Hardware Canucks, Linus Tech Tips, and a couple other computer like hardware reviewers. And wow, he really threw it in there. But yeah, so I bought the Fanatec case, and I like it. Very subtle, but very nice. Yeah, in terms of clock speed, like in terms of gaming, it's still clock speed is king. So if you have a faster clock speed, you're likely going to get better performance. Not many games take advantage of the multi-core threading. But for my comparison video, I'm planning on doing one benchmark of the CPU stock, and then one of it overclocked, with the CPU and RAM overclock. I'm planning on going in depth in it, so it's definitely going to be like a solid comparison, I think. Whoa! 3-car accident. That was interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like specialist review. Because simulator titles are admittedly more CPU intensive than other games. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Fail. Oh, my car's dead. That sucks. Fail. Yeah, we'll see how it does in the benchmarks. But yeah, for me, also, I do a lot of media production, so those multiple threads come in handy big time. Oh! Whoops. White flag, slow cars ahead. I've never seen that one. I guess the AI isn't perfect, but... You really have to keep like the revs up to have that get caught in the turbo. One of the also things to consider with overclocking is Ryzen is definitely the new architecture, so it's gonna be a little while before like all the motherboards and BIOSes end up really taking advantage of it and supporting overclocking to a great extent. But I think once the motherboards start really knowing how to handle Ryzen and overclocking, then we might be able to see better clocks. I've never really actually played Arma or Daisy. I considered getting it in the Humble Bundle a while back, but I just never got around to doing it. Yeah, for my 1800X, I was only able to get like 3.9, I think. Or like 3.925. Catching up to the leaders. But man, RaceRoom definitely has some of the best sounds. Man, like just that immersion factor. That is just, you hear the creaking, you hear just the, like the body working. I still remember when 5 gigahertz was a pipe dream, and now it's actually attainable and stable in some cases. Come on. Another pass on the outside, okay. Way overshot, overcooked, dang it. So we're in lap 3 of 15. Whoa! Wheel hop. Yeah, like 10 gigahertz. Yeesh. Whoops. That was an unholy corner cut that I got away with. I believe I'm currently at 4200 with Nvidia encoder. Missed the shift. Ooh. Almost hit him. Yeah, and I find that H.264 just really drains the hardware resources, especially with my Intel build. So, since I'm using a 1080, why not get the most out of it? Pass for the lead. And I'm gonna lose it. Whoa! Ow. That hurt a bit. Oh, man, that wastegate. I've lost it now. Well, we're having fun, right? Just making this race exciting. Locked up the rears. Just imagine how much heat a 20 gigahertz processor would produce. $10.46. Oh, that was a lockup. Well, yeah, like, I'm hoping to get my comparison thing done maybe end of next week, because finally I don't have a crazy schedule again, but should be a good video, I think. And I'll try doing a lot of benchmarks for you guys. Man, my right foot is feeling a little numb now with all the braking. This car needs a heavy, heavy right foot. Caught back up. Gotta love 85% AI. I just wanted to make it an exciting race. Whoops. Rubbin's racing, boys. Up to third. Whoa. That's one way to make a pass. Just had some crazy wheel up and pass in the grass. It's nice that the transmission model does simulate like that kind of RPM and wheel hopping there, or drivetrain model, I should say. Let's build up a gap. You say cheater, I'd say skillful rule manipulation. Remember, this was the 90s. It was like the Wild West of racing rules. Well, Zanardi technically passed in the sand. It wasn't really grass. Or sand, dirt, whatever. Now we're making up some time. Overcooked, overcooked. And still survived. You hurt your arm or something? Whoa! Well, that just made me lose most of my time. Ow. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hopefully you feel better soon and we'll see you on track. A month? Yee. Well, at least you get to watch me make a fool out of myself. Man, that oversteer in this. Almost spun it there. Six weeks in a sling. Youch. I had a similar situation when I was 9. I was hit by a car and I had to be in a sling because I cracked my collarbone. And that was no fun when I was 9. On the bright side, because I'm left-handed and I cracked my left collarbone, I didn't have to do homework for like a month and a half. So that was a perk. Missed the shift. The downside, like, I'm doing the flat shifting to try to keep my turbo up when I'm shifting up, but the downside is it's easy to miss a shift with that. I can feel my tires starting to go. Yeah, Butcho, glad I can play my part to help. And Sean, great guy. James, I'm kidding. He's a great guy too. Whoa. Ah, tank slapper. Get back on track, get back on track, get back on track! It's funny because my right leg's starting to feel sore, so I can't really press on the brake as hard. Yeah, James is funny, but it's British humor. I mean, does that really count? He sounds funny. That's more like it. Paul, I am so sorry that you have to be British. Granted, I'm part British. Like, I want to say like 4 generations removed from my dad. Shh, you didn't see anything. 3 more laps. I don't make my own track because there's no track maker in RaceRoom Racing Experience. I was just watching Talladega Nights, I think, yesterday. Paul, I believe there's a YouTube video that somebody did exactly that. Whoa. It was like Schumacher driving on all the famous corners and stitch it together and make it look like an actual racetrack. Whoa. Ran a little wide. Oh. That that would be insane. The corkscrew. Missed the shift. Too fast, too fast. Last lap. Let's make it a good one, guys. Okay, that's mixed signals there. It's saying checkered flag, last lap. So let's make this lap the last one. Because it's saying final lap. Should say white flag. I might have to talk with a couple people about that. Oh, El Bucho, thank you very much. You were my first ever super chatter. Thank you. That is awesome. So I guess that's how it works. DTM didn't have a white flag? I think they did. But, yeah. Okay, so I noticed also it said white flag, slow cars ahead. So I don't know. I'll talk to them about it, but I'll see about that because I think that's something weird. But okay, we actually won the race. I mean, we took a couple shortcuts, but shh. This was a lot of fun though, and Imola in race room, good. So I recommend you give it a try if you haven't already. But yeah, so thank you for watching, guys. I think I'm going to do another live stream tonight for the Sim Racing System race. That'll be about 5:30 p.m.-ish Pacific time. So just adjust that for your own time zones. So, yeah. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll see how this goes. So thank you guys for watching. Enjoy W March on the top of the leaderboards because you're not really going to see that much often. But thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you tonight.